bless and good morning, one and all. Good morning, good morning. Welcome to today's episode of Speaking Out, Exposing Corruption Incompetence. Today is Tuesday, the 12th day of November, 2024. People want to know why are we on a Tuesday. We'll explain it in a short while. But in the meanwhile, good morning, one and all. Or actually, it's midday now, one and all. Share the live, share the live. Today more than ever, you need to make sure that the live is shared so that others can know that we are on. Welcome, welcome, welcome to this Tuesday's episode. Yesterday we scheduled to have the usual Monday episode, and then just about 5 minutes before showtime, the internet went down, blackout and all of that. I tried my best to get the show going. I tried using hotspot from the phone as suggested by some. It was connected, but then you didn't have the bandwidth to push the program. So we took a decision that in the interest of making sure that we bring the information to you, that the best thing to do was to cancel yesterday's program and reschedule it. So we canceled and rescheduled for today. So here we are today, another beautiful day that the Lord has made. Let's rejoice and be glad in it. Let's give praise and thanks to being in the land of the living. My colleague, Mr. Conway, is already in the studio. He's rearing and ready to go. We have lots to tell you about this morning. As we usually do, lots to tell you about this morning. And so share the live. The program was scheduled just out 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, New York, 8 o'clock Guyana time, and student came in almost immediately. The thing is that when we were unable to stream yesterday, I was inundated with calls and messages. People want to know what's going on. You don't have a class today. You walk on the road. People are asking if you phone that. Oh, man. People from all over were inquiring what is the position with the program. And again, I say apologies. It was beyond our control. No internet for a long while. And then blackout. You know how the thing goes. You know how it goes. So those are the reasons why we couldn't bring the program yesterday, but we decided immediately we have too much to pass on to wait until Wednesday. We have to make sure that we come at the earliest possible opportunity, which is today, to bring you the credible, valuable, and information. So share the live. As I said, today more than any other day, you need to share because many people would have been caught unawares, and that is why I continue to emphasize that you need to subscribe to the channel on YouTube. When you subscribe, you're going to see a notification button, a little bell thing to the right side or something like that. You have to hit that bell. And when you do that, that will cause you to get a notification when the program goes live. I know we have lots of students, as you will see a while ago, but I suspect many of the students, including some of the regulars, are not on because they did not subscribe and they did not get the notification. If you are on Facebook, follow the page and you're going to get a similar notification. And as you come on, I see we're running towards 500 people on the live and we only get about 10 thumbs up. Come on, man, give the thumbs up. Give the thumbs up. Let the algorithms kick in so a lot of people who are not here will get the notification, because the algorithms too can cause people to be advised as to what is going on. So hit the notification button when you subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and we are going to be coming to you in a short while. Lots to tell you this morning again. Let me start off with the roll call to say that this is not the only roll call this morning. People want to know what I'm talking about. I saw a YouTube video now circulating. There was a meeting this morning it looked like State House with a lot of people. And the president is doing a roll call, man. The president is calling out ministers and permanent secretaries and contractors. Roll call. So this is not the only roll call. There was one this morning where the president was calling out ministers of the government, permanent secretaries, contractors. I think they all had to assemble there at 5:30 this morning. So we're going to do our regular. So as we said, a copy in the roll call thing. So let me go into the roll call right away. As I said, the program was scheduled just before 8 this morning. That's Guyana time. just before 7 Eastern Standard Time. And Marcia was here first. And after Marcia, she was followed by Raul. Raul came in at exactly 7. Vibert, then you had Felicia. Those people were exactly 7. Then the next was at 7-1. Essie. Then out of the UK, Lynette was here. Wayne, George, White Countryman. He said number 11899, Calder. Then we add after that is Pamela from West Dem, Evelyn, Conor Rookman is here. Aubrey is with us. Mary, Richard, Derek, Wayne from the UK, Keith from Brooklyn, Clifton all the way from Paris is here. Barbara, Bert, Norbert, George, Pauline, Smitty is here with us, 7464. Smitty. Jawar Rohan is with us too. Carl, my squad mate from Arizona, 9414. His number is there. Award, Patricia Ulrich from West Dem is here. Hazel, Marcus, Machu, Gary, Princess Earl from Lamar Springs, David, Ruth, the Angel is with us. Lucius from Maryland, Denise from Florida, Amanda, Colin from New Jersey, Mark, Tallulah, Wenda, Maureen, Russ, Ricardo, Colin from Queens is here with us, Sandra, Moses, Inferno Boss, William, then it's Farina, Como, 8218, Como is here with us, Danny is here, 9731, I think it was, Cecile, Brenda, Selwyn, Hazel, Grantley, Lester, Trevor, Ord, Isabella, welcome, Valda, Rhonda, this is Rhonda Chance, Pepper Goat is here. Then after Pepper Goat, it was Karen, Jacko from Georgia, Gaston from Canada, Marvin, East Coast man, Colin from New Jersey, Rayburn, Bonita, Clay, Phil, Sean from Schenectady. Then we had Lorraine, Anthony, Dwayne, Umi is here with us, Barbara, Marlon, then it is Danielle from the man from Linden, Mandela, Dorette, the man from East Bank, Vibert is here. Then it was all the way from Paris. We have Clifton and Imelda, Leon is here. Then it was Floyd. Then after Floyd was Jason, Johnny, June. Then look, Henry. Henry says all the way from Australia, Melbourne, Australia. Welcome, my brother. All down under. So, you see, we tell you people from all around the globe tune into this program. We thank you. We welcome you. We'll continue to give you the credible, valuable information. June is here. Joseph, Ronald, Shemlin, Roderick, Dennis Lance, Northwest, Forgus, another Commonwealth, Siobhan, Floyd, Monica, Ruth. Then Floyd came back and he said, I'm going to replay. He came, then it was Lokesh came. Then Floyd came back to say they should listen to the, forget about the messengers and listen to the message. We've been telling them that all along, you know, Floyd. Forget about the messengers, but listen to the message. Vernon is here, Clarence, Harold, Marva, Chilo, Bailey Meckett, Michael, Wendy. Then it was David, the last man on YouTube. And then we went live, not to be outdone as expected. Edward was the first man here. And then we had YouTuber Joan is here, Rosie, Precious Ann is with us, Ingrid is with us, and then many, many, many others. Sean came in, Leroy came in. So yeah, folks, let me move straight to some announcements, and then I'm going to bring Mr. Conway. We're going to address the issues. Now, the first announcement I want to make is a very sad one. This morning I learned that there was a fire at number 64, I think, on the quarantine. 5 persons died in that fire. 5 persons. 5 persons died in the fire or this morning, they say, on the quarantine. I don't know what the circumstances are, but I think the police confirmed that 5 persons died in that fire. They're saying that a mother and her children, we're not sure. We're not sure. No, what is this? Yeah, a little interruption. We're not sure what are the details, but we're gonna get it. I'm sure you're gonna see it in the news later in the morning. So yes, folks, that is what we have in terms of death, and I want to express condolences to the relatives, friends of those deceased persons. Must have been very traumatic. 5 persons, one blow this morning. Then we have some birthday greetings. We had it for yesterday, birthday, but now it's belated birthday. I want to start off by saying belated birthday greetings to Angela McDonald, Region 5 lady. She's a regular in the program. Angela, this is a counselor in one of those NDCs. And then we have, yesterday would have been another Ardian follower, Eric Tishmaker. He had a birthday yesterday. And also yesterday we had a birthday of next follower, Janella Price. They had birthdays yesterday. We had it listed to say happy birthday. I did send them birthday greetings, but now it's belated birthday greetings to them. We have some other belated birthday greetings. Woman Inspector Stacy Noble celebrated a birthday recently. Woman Sergeant Valessa Cortius. She's from the Police Immigration Department. A follower and a former member too, Don Prophet. The Prophet had a birthday recently. Albert Farley had one recently. Paul Archer. I don't know if he's on the live this morning, but he's in Canada, a former shooting buddy of mine. He had a birthday recently, and also recently had the birthday of a former member, Errol Pollard, whose number was 9771. I think he joined in the same year with me later down the year, that year, 1974. So, belated birthday greetings to all those persons who celebrated recently. And I wish you long life, health, strength, happiness. Then yesterday would have been, we had it to Veterans Day. Veterans Day, we had it listed to send out Veterans Day's greetings to all those who serve. All those who serve, a happy Veterans Day to you. And then we missed out on some congratulations. Last week when we had a program Wednesday, I missed it. Congratulations to Commissioner Cole, a regular. She's always on the program. Commissioner Cole and Assistant Superintendent Dylan Fraser on their recent graduation with the International Human Rights Law Certificate. They both graduated with an International Human Rights Law Certificate. Congratulations to them. We want to also congratulate all those persons who graduated from the university recently. And I would want to say a special congratulations to Sergeant Travis Cush, who graduated with his Bachelor's of Law degree. Keep fighting, my brother. Keep fighting. The sky is the limit. So keep working. And then what else? We had the cricket. For those cricket fans and lovers, it's a 5-match series, the T20 between England and the West Indies. England won the first two. So let's see what's going to happen to the next three. So the cricket is there. Now, let me bring in Mr. Conway, and then I'll come back to you. CC, good morning and welcome.
Morning. Happy to be in the land of the living to do God's work. They can only interrupt us, but they can only or delay us. But the work of the Lord has got to go on. So my sympathy to that family at Quarantine there, 64 village. I think 5 persons died in an accident, in a fire. And also congratulations to those persons who celebrated their birthdays. And also those policemen, policewomen who graduated from the University of Guyana. Well done. And also I wish to congratulate the Guyana Police Force team that won the Commander-in-Chief cricket competition recently. And then I think on Sunday, as start of the Joint Services Athletics competition, the police and the star won the road relay, the first time since 2013. So congratulations.
Thank you. Let me address Ms. Squaddy. Ms. Squaddy said we should cut short the announcements and go straight for the jugular. Buddy, you got to get a little foreplay, You can't be a caveman. Squaddy. This thing requires some build-up. You got to build up. You got to build up. So that's what we're doing. We're building up. And then you're going to get the crescendo. So I hear you, but we got to do the thing the right way. Can't be a caveman. Can't just run and rampart. You have to have some foreplay, and this is what it is. That makes the main subject even sweeter. You get you in anticipation of what is to come. So, Scotty, that is it. Now, let me tell you, I indicated some time ago, they have these charges against me. The one with conspiracy to commit fraud with myself, Mr. Conway, and some other officers, retired and serving. Since December last year, that charge was dismissed. Now, there are three other against me, sexual assault. And they're saying that when I talk about the dates and so on, I can be intimidating the witness or the complainant. But let me tell you, if this is intimidation, well, let them do what they got to do. The matter was set for trial today and on the 14th. When last it came up in August, the magistrate set the 12th and the 14th for the trial. I learned last week that the trial will no longer commence on the 12th, which is today. So I was in court, via Zoom this morning, and the matters have been postponed now for January 27th and 28th, 2025. Let me repeat that. The trial, which was to commence this morning, has now been put to the 27th and the 28th of January 2025. And don't blame, sometimes we just jump or you want to blame the magistrates, you want to blame the judges. The system is broken. Don't blame the individuals. The system is broken. The system is broken. And the magistrate had a very plausible and reasonable explanation. The magistrate said that she inherited, when they had a change with the new judges and so on, she inherited a lot of cases. And in many of these cases, people are in jail. Many of the cases, people are in jail. So she has made a decision, a very sensible decision, to deal with those matters where people are incarcerated before she deals with matters like this where I am out free on bail. And that is a reasonable position. You can't fault that, even though I am somewhat aggrieved that this matter has been dragging on 3.5 years plus going now. But the explanation given by the magistrate, any reasonable person can accept that. And I tell myself that I'm a reasonable person. But part of the problem you have is that I said the system is broke. Because as we would have seen, many, many cases that should never be prosecuted are prosecuted. Repeatedly, cases are dismissed for want of prosecution. The prosecutor presents the case, and then no case submissions are made and upheld because they don't have any evidence. Many of these things are politically motivated. I remember on the 27th of December last year, when the magistrate dismissed the conspiracy to commit fraud cases, she had to remark that there was not an iota of evidence. One of the defense lawyers had to remark he didn't see how anyone with legal training could have gone through that file and say what people should be charged. But it's politics. It's politics. They want to drag you through the mud. In my case, they want to humble me because I stood up and I say I ain't going into the stupidness they wanted me to get involved in, to promote people who are pending disciplinary matters and all that. The commission that I chased stood up and said, no, that can't happen. So they came after me and Conway in the first instance because they wanted to get us off the commission. And then with me, who dare me to stand up and think, so they bring all kind of things. But 3.5 years, think about it, 3.5 years, it has cost me a lot of money, a lot of pain, mental anguish, a lot of finances and so on. But hey, they're not going to break me. I'll tell you all again, and I'm repeating it for emphasis. Anytime they see me on my knee, it's because I'm going there to pray for them. And prayers are being answered. Are we going to deal with some of the answers that are coming through? So yes, that is the thing. You got to wait. What are you going to do? But as I've said again, some of us are quick to point out, to blame magistrate, blame the judges. The system is broken. Many, many cases that are people who are charged and should never be charged. The evidence was never there. The DPP will set charge, and then you have to go through this whole process. Look, just remember the other day, a couple of months back, a man, policeman Eastman, 5 years on remand for murder. And then the DPP discontinued the proceedings. 5 years, and the DPP discontinued the proceedings. So the question is, why was he charged in the first instance? What caused the proceedings to be discontinued? So it's a broken system. So understand that. The system is broken because too many cases that should never get into the system are getting into the system. Too many cases. The only if I'm to blame the magistrates, I believe on too many occasions they are granting postponement, when really you should call for them, the prosecutions, to move on with it. If you can't bring the witness, close the case. Long ago, the magistrates used to do that. Bring your witness. If you can't direct you to close your case and move on with the process. If you want to appeal later, then you can appeal and so on. But that is what is going on. I thought I'll bring you up to date with that court matter. This morning, it was, I think, in Code 3. I attended there, and that is the result. I waiting, the day will come, the day of vindication will be there. The prosecution indicated that they have 6 witnesses to call. They have 6 witnesses to call, including the complainant, which is normal. And you know they're going to say now, you're going to see the comment say, because I mentioned what I've just mentioned, that is intimidatory to witnesses, intimidatory to complain. That is what they are saying, right? When I bring this information, that is what they're saying. CC, let me bring you in for have your comment on this, and then we're going to move on. Again, buddy, 3.5 years and counting, and this matter can't start yet.
Well, I'm happy that you finally have your day in court in January. I know long after 3 years, and not only that, the complainant, I'm sure she willing to have her day in court. On the face of it, and on the face of it, she said that on 3 occasions you're up. She like, so let you go in the court and tell the story and be subject to cross-examination. Let the trial begin.
Let the trial begin. We want to. That is how the system should work. Only that it should work more seamlessly. More seamlessly. The complainant needs to have order. The defendant, in this case, I need to have my day as well. So let the thing move, man. Let the thing move. Now, CC, moving forward, I saw where there is another traffic campaign. I'm trying to get a document here. There's another traffic name that it called this time. They call it "Do the Right Thing." Here it is. Let me read what is being said about this campaign. Folks, like I said, you gotta share the live. Share the live. The numbers are not as high as they would normally be because people will be caught unawares. So you need to, if you don't see one of your fellow students online, call them, tell them up, hey, this program is on. I have some information to give to you. I put in a notification for the program that was to be held yesterday, that I received a letter from one Calvin Brutus, Assistant Commissioner of Police, and the attorney at law, where he said that I'm defaming him. I've made libelous statements. I'm going to go into it in details. Call your friend, tell a friend. Call a friend, tell a friend. We haven't reached to that yet, but you have enough time to tell them about that. We saw this Do the Right Thing campaign launched to promote safer road use. Hear what it says, and this is October the 21st, Stabrook News. Fatalities set to surpass last year. Then the Ministry of Home Affairs launched its, quote, Do the Right Thing campaign on Friday with a focus on the upcoming National Road Safety Month in November in an effort to emphasize its goals to promote safe practice and behavior by road users. Speaking at a press conference at the Ministry of Home Affairs boardroom, Minister of Home Affairs Robson Ben called for public and institutional support, highlighting the responsibility of every Guyanese to contribute to safety and security. The campaign aims to extend beyond road safety to include other safety and security concerns in the public spaces, social media, and the press. The decision to focus on road safety, Minister Ben disclosed, was made after consultations with the National Road Safety Council. The minister added that the campaign not only addresses the current challenges in behavior, but in road safety, particularly the increase in road fatalities, noting that the number has increased from last year to now, from last year to now, and is projected to surpass last year's figure. Ben also touched on the nexus between the increase in number of vehicles on the roads and the corresponding increase in road accidents. He said that despite infrastructure expansion, there is still a significant amount of indiscriminate behavior in road usage. The minister expressed the hope that the campaign succeeds in reducing road fatalities by 2030, as required by United Nations Decade of Road Safety, but lamented that current trends indicate that this goal may not be met. Then he's quoted here as saying, "We are required by the United Nations in the Decade of Road Safety by 2030 to halve the number of deaths on our roads, which should suggest that road deaths should be by 2030 somewhere around 50 deaths per year. But at the current rate, we will not achieve that. And this is particularly grievous data point," Ben said. He identified speeding and drinking and driving as significant causes of road accidents and said that the campaign plans to work with the police to change legislation and enforcement to address these issues. He also informed that despite a decrease in overall crashes, there has been an increase in fatalities, with 93 deaths so far this year. As such, the minister emphasized the need for immediate action to address the current situation and prevent further fatalities. Meanwhile, Traffic Chief Senior Superintendent Mahendra Singh presented detailed statistics on road incidents, mind you, noting an increase in serious and fatal crashes involving motorcyclists. The statistics show that the most serious accidents, or the most serious incidents, he said, involve pedestrians, motorcyclists, and cyclists, highlighting the need for better road safety measures. He stressed the importance of planning ahead and using safety equipment to prevent incidents. Minister Ben added, if we look at the last 10 or so years, in 2024, we had 146 lives lost. In 2014, we had 146 lives lost. In 2020, we had 139 lives lost. Then in 2022, which was a year in which we had great expectations, where 99 lives were lost. And we were very happy about that. Though every life, of course, is valued. But in 2023, we had 175 lives lost, which was, despite efforts, a negative change. At the current time, we have 93 lives lost. I don't think we have the figures for the last 3 days. You can lose 4 people every 2 or so days. He pointed out that the campaign also raises awareness about the dangers of not using safety equipment and the need for responsible behavior on the roads. As such, the minister highlighted the importance of the public's cooperation in using safety equipment and following traffic rules. The campaign also plans to address issues such as the movement of construction material and the use of high visibility clothing for pedestrians. Ben stressed that the campaign also aims not to only address the immediate consequences of road accidents, but also the long-term impact of on public health and safety. He emphasized the need for a coordinated response for all stakeholders, including the police, public works, the community, to create a culture of safety and responsibility on our roads. That is what this campaign is all about. But let me bring Mr. Conway to make his comments, and then I'm going to have something else to say about it. CC, the Respect the Road campaign, what are your views, my brother?
I respect the road is do the right thing and
Right,
finally
sorry,
like they
do the
finish
right thing. Yeah, sorry, my
they
mistake. Do
finish
the right thing.
if they finish with it they should take down the extended squatter photographs. I think the one at Kitty area and think one in Western Moraro. And dealing with campaigns just short term. What we need to do is have a holistic approach towards the traffic situation. A holistic approach. Now, and I said before that this traffic situation has got to be data driven. It's got to be data driven. I remember when we were doing the citizens security program, I think Clementori was the Home Affairs Minister. We used to reach once a month at the ministry there, and have discussion on the various components. And they established what we call ISIS. So we had ISIS in Guyana, ICIS, not ISIS, Integrated Crime Information System. And they can do the same thing, set up a platform, the same thing with the traffic situation, where they do the data, where persons were employed to input data and send it to a central body. And it got to be data to be analyzed by policy analysts, not those that we have at the strategic department of the police force, that you have to be driven by data telling you things like the category of vehicles involved in accidents, who are involved. Is it a minibus? Is it the private cars? Is it the motorcyclists? Is it the pedestrian? Things like the time that these accidents occur, times like the days of the week in which you have accidents. But what they're doing now, they're cocking the figure, they're ghosting. Instead of hearing about fatalities, we're hearing about incidents. And some of the reason they're giving, if a motorcyclist ride on the road and hit down a donkey on the road and he dies, it is an incident. If a man drive up a heap of sand and he dies, it is an incident. It's not a fatal accident. If somebody go and drive and hit a bridge and they die, it is an incident. And all sort of things now they're classifying as incidents because they want to look good. They want to look good. They want to they, they want to believe that they're doing a good work. So the fatal accidents now, a lot of them, they're classifying as incidents. And they're ghosting the figures too. Say, everybody, don't put in this one gonna make me look bad. So I don't believe that they're giving you the right stats in terms of the fatalities. And they should give you as per division. Let's know what's happening in the various division. Give us the figures as per division. I remember last year, Division 3 had the highest amount of fatal accident. The deadliest road was in Region 3. I know what they did. The traffic chief there, the man in traffic, they give him an award, second runner-up, best cop for police. They give him he was the best the runner-up best cop. A man who presided over the deadliest road in this country, and they give him an award. He was a runner-up best cop. So the thing is that you need to look at the data, and based on the data, you use your technical, your people skill, and your conceptual skills to deal with the situation. Use the data and let the data and so that you can able to address the situation. But when you're cocking the figures, your response will be flawed. And then I'm missing out a major point. I'm missing out a major point. The Jaguar in the room. The loaner driver package, Paul, that you introduced. They take it away, the theory, they take it away from the cops in faith, and they give it to Zaro. So you go to a Zaro location and you do the theory. And Zaro, maybe they are paragons of virtue. Nobody ain't doing no integrity testing with Zaro. Nobody ain't doing no anti-corruption test with Zaro. The taking was Zaro said they know that there's something called computer fraud. And so everything that Zaro do is gospel. The thing is that they need to you at the lawn driver park the theory and the practical. When we had a SOP that you designed, Paul, which saying that when you're doing the practical, the traffic people has got to send a return to the commander showing the amount of persons who will be doing the practical examination, and the commander will then appoint people to work along with the certifying officer to ensure that it is properly conducted. but those things aren't be done now. If you look at it, very small amount of people go in and do the practical tests. But when you got, but they're getting competent. But when you go to GRA and GRA is packed up with people with competence, very few doing the practical tests, but a whole set of them not doing the practical test, and they're being issued with competence, and then they get the driver's license. So I'm saying, look at the elephant, or look at the jaguar in the room. Those law on the driver package, the theory and the practical. People who never got behind a wheel, getting driver's license, getting competence. So they need to look at that. And also the commanders has got to be involved in this traffic situation. If you talk to a normal general duty rank, ask him, when last you make a traffic case? He said, there's traffic work, there's me no traffic man, there's traffic work. All has got to be involved. And I always talk to stories that when I went to Borbis as a commander, I discovered those persons in West Coast Borbis were the brightest persons in the country when it comes to the theory. That the pass rate was in the 90%, in the 90s. And I put some systems in place. And after a while, it stabilized in the 60s, 60 something percent. There was the pass rate. And then I discovered also that Springlands, I think as a commander, Springlands had the best driver in the country. If 10 people were scheduled to do the practical exam, all 10 would pass. And I call the traffic man and say, hey, I want no 100% pass. I can do it, but I don't want no 100% pass. You hear what I'm saying? And when the results come, I get a 100% pass. And he said that he is the certifying officer. Only he could give people competence. The commander is not a certifying officer. Only he could give competence, not the commander. And I call him and I transfer him to Oriello, 60 miles of the Corentin River. As I go and certify boats there. Say, so give me a couple of months. No. I said, I'm going to find you dead on the road. I'm going to find you floating in the Corentin River because you're taking the people money to give them confidence. So I'm making a point that commanders also has got to be involved. It got to be a holistic approach. And sometimes they got to do a bit of job rotation. Not like the dancers what they do when they rotate the upsman, and they rotated the upsman and the admin man and the man at special branch. You rotate the junior ranks, the little constables, the corporals. So move them around. Maybe you might get a right combination. So I'm saying that this thing calls for a holistic approach towards it, and it got to be data driven. Got to be data driven. No campaign do the right thing with it. That will only work for a while. But look at the figures, analyze the figures, deal with the figures, and based on what the figures saying, you utilize your technical, your human, and your conceptual skills to deal with the situation. I think I've said a mouthful. I've taken a lot of debate in there for you, Paul.
Well, it's good, it's good for you to take the what. You want to score in runs, and you did score a lot of runs there. Let me make the point. No campaign, this campaign syndrome that they're in. Not so long ago, they told us about Respect the Road campaign. Part of the campaign, they had billboards, big picture, spend a whole set of taxpayers' money, I'm sure, to put up the acting commissioner, the extended squatter photograph from billboard, say Respect the Road. And we ask the question then, how is that expected to improve the situation? These are people without any idea. They don't know how to handle, and we have made these suggestions repeatedly. And let me repeat it quickly for some of you. This thing requires a very comprehensive approach, the old system. It is time that you have a Department of Motor Vehicles or Department of Transportation, where a lot of the things, law and driver program, the certification of motor vehicles and all this are devolved, are taken away from the police. Especially now you hear the police married and all this type of controversy and corruption. Imagine you still have, in this day and age, police officers. Police are responsible for certifying that a person is competent to drive a motor vehicle. While GRA issues the license, police issues the competence certificate. And we had, not so long ago, the police audit department did an audit, and they reported that more persons passed on a particular day, more persons passed the examination than took the examination. I can't remember the exact figure, but let's say on the particular day, 100 persons registered to take the examination. When the examination done, 100 and something passed. Corruption, it was there. The police, the audit department, Rohan Singh was the man in charge. He made that report, and they don't want to address the corruption. They don't want to address the corruption. We still have a situation where they talk about certificate of fitness. Most of the licensing and certifying officers, they're not trained mechanics. They just go, tell you, put on your wiper, right side traffic gate. A lot of these vehicles on the road are not fit to be on the road, but who is checking on those vehicles? The system is broken. The thing needs to have a comprehensive review. They're talking about changing law, and that is not going to work. That is not going to work. You change laws, and every time and again, they have an increased fine. They talk about using the cameras to charge people for speeding. All this type of thing, they're throwing all type of thing at you. It is not working, and it will not work. And here this, this one for me was the kicker. The minister's statement. The minister said, the campaign aims to extend beyond road safety to include other safety and security concerns in public spaces, social media, and the press. My God, you talking about a campaign. It's a campaign to promote to promote safer road. And he got to media, you're going to extend beyond road safety to include other. This is what is reported in Starbuck News. This is what is reported on the 21st of October, that the minister saying that this campaign, where they're going for the name Do the Right Thing, will go further, not only about road safety, beyond safety, to include safety and security concern in public spaces, social media, and the press. That is what the minister is reported to have said. And he goes on and he says a whole set of thing here that, well, I say when the minister speaks, doesn't make much sense to me. A lot of the things the minister speaks about. But I am saying in relation to the traffic, I used to be the traffic chief on two occasions, Two occasions I went there, and for your information, when I was removed, it wasn't because of any bad conduct or so on. They felt that I would have been best at that particular time to be at the 2IC in A Division to Any Green. And when that was during the election time, when I was over, I was put back as traffic chief again. Okay, I told you all I designed and implemented the learner driver program. And at the time when it was designed and implemented, it was virtually foolproof because of the mechanisms and systems that were in there. We had designed different, I had on the two occasions, you had Lucius Nero as the traffic education officer and Dennis Horatio. When we designed and we put together, we started this multiple choice thing. We had about 4 packages on any one day. Those things were locked securely in the safe. So if you were to ask me, the traffic chief, what were the questions for tomorrow, I couldn't tell, because we would then go randomly, pick up one of the packets, because they have different questions, and take it to for the examination. We had systems in place. Then I hear when you left after here, sergeant get charged with all set of irregularities, all because the systems that were there were not maintained. All because the systems. But Minister Ben, let me say this to you. This thing about campaign don't work. Those men who work with me in traffic, I used to tell them plain, I don't want anything about campaign. They must go out and enforce the laws continuously. They get a campaign in them days, they get bicycle light campaign, and then it gone. I remember we had a laugh over it. Man stopped with bicycle light in them days. I said, what happened? You get campaign? That was the mentality. Only when you get campaign, you're going to deal with certain offenses. The campaign syndrome will not work. And those traffic officers who work with me, the divisional traffic officers, will tell you, they couldn't tell me, come and tell me about campaign. I don't want here about campaign. I want the laws to be implemented and enforced continuously. But what you have now the initiative of Minister Ben, apart from this one here, he ordered, it is alleged and reported that traffic ranks must wear white gloves to be more visible. So when you drive along and you see the traffic ranks in white gloves directing the traffic, that is Ben's initiative. He ordered too, it is reported that the traffic ranks should be on some ladder in the middle of the road. They used to be by the court of the Republic and break down there. Put some ladder because they need to see further field. A lot of nonsense. These people, something wrong with their brain. And this thing, as I've said, no one man can sit down and come up. You need to have a comprehensive overview, bring in the experts. When I was traffic chief, they brought in Dr. Brutus to assess the traffic situation. And Brutus did, he died now. He used to be somewhere in the States, highly qualified man. He did his work, he did the survey, and we came up that road on the East Coast in the Beto area was the dangerous stretch of road in the whole country. And therefore, you examine and you put mechanisms in place to address the issue. But they're doing all kind of things. Look, only recently we heard they come up that if you were driving along Lamar Street, I don't think they prevented you from turning east into Virginia Road, and a whole set of things. Then after a couple of days, no longer. It clearly shows that no one is thinking clearly. No one is thinking. Somebody got some brainwave. They dream something in the night. They say, okay, let's do that. And then a couple of days after, it gone. It pains me up to this day to see in Guyana, you have roundabouts, and they put in traffic police in the roundabout to direct traffic. In the roundabout to direct traffic. No place in the world would you see that. And I have defended them by putting, when you say you put traffic ranks at peak hours at the traffic lights, that can be justified. Because as I have said before, the traffic lights are there to be effective. But we got to understand the difference between effectiveness and efficiency. Traffic lights are not efficient. The ones that we have in Guyana, they are not efficient. In other words, they are mechanical, and what happens? If the green got to be there for, let's say, a minute, then it changed from green to amber for half a minute, then it changed to red for, that is what happens. So you have a situation where the red is on, but nothing is flowing in that direction. Nothing is flowing. So because of the inefficiency of that system, you got to come and you got to stop because it's a red light. And then nothing is coming from the other direction. So that is what we mean about effectiveness and efficiency. Whereas we were taught, and I know, that the roundabouts are there for efficiency. You give way to the traffic, you yield to traffic on the right, and you're supposed to keep moving and moving. But you have an indisciplined driving public, and that is part of the problem. You have an indisciplined driving public, and therefore the things can't work. You see, your driving guide is madness on the road, madness on the road all the time. And I'm saying, finally, before I move on to another subject, Minister Man, you go get campaign after campaign after campaign to deal with the traffic situation. It ain't gonna work because you're not addressing, the government is not addressing the main issues dealing with the roads, the usage of road, education, main issues. We're supposed to get a place like Guyana with all this money, bombarded with infomercials about the use of road, signs all over the place to drive to the left or near side, and all of those things. What you have? Nothing. You have nothing. You have a traffic campaign. So let me move on, because if I continue, it gets me because, as I said, I used to be traffic chief 2 occasions. And before the amphibians and them crapo jump out, let any fair-minded person who knows about that area in the 90s when I was traffic chief will used to tell you. We will tell you. Order. I used to go there myself. Even now, a few months back, I was in Guyana and I walked by the Starbrook Market there by DIH, Banks DIH area there, coming down the Scroll Street into Water Street area there and so on. And a man called, said, Chief, what's going on? I said, there. He said, look at the craziness. He said, in your days, this could have never happened. So I said, by different times. And it's true. It's true. When I was traffic chief, people would tell you, and because of that, the men under me were motivated. I used to go out to the road in the mornings, go out in the, and here, let me tell you this. The traffic work, as a traffic chief, there can never be enough paperwork to have you tied down in the office only. No, no, not getting all them paperwork. You get accident, you'll come to deal with and so on. But you can free up at least an hour or two every day to make sure your presence is felt. And what happens? Because you're on the road, you got a feel as to exactly what is going on. You know what is going on the road. But them chap on their officer, so officer meaning they must sit down in office all the time. I never see traffic in office yet. I have never seen traffic in office yet. So let me move on though. Let me invite Mr. Conway if you want to say anything more in traffic. CC, do you want to say anything more on this traffic situation?
Just to repeat, that there got to be a holistic approach towards traffic. Campaigns would work for a time. Piecemeal efforts will only produce piecemeal results. What I need is a strategic plan to deal with traffic. And when we talk about strategic, we mean it must be specific, it must be achievable, it must be measurable, it must be realistic, and it must be task oriented. SMART, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and task oriented. So let us see that coming up with a strategic plan to deal with traffic. That's the only way you can get real proper results. A holistic approach.
I see some comments say, I see about say, you remember I threatened to arrest him for riding a scooter without helmet. So you think that, let me tell you something about this helmet thing. The law is clear. I don't know if the police are taught that, but unless the engine capacity is below 50 cubic centimeter and the motorcycle is pedal assisted. Let me repeat that again because this is something I remember to sit down and discuss with the late Ian Chan. All motorcycles, unless the engine capacity is 50 cubic centimeter, 50 cc or less than 50 cc, sorry. I think 50 or less, I can't be sure now. And it has to be pedal assisted. They were then catering for those, we call it P50. All other, you have to wear helmet. All other. So even if you had it at, let me say 49 or 40 cubic centimeter, and it was not pedal assisted, the law required that you wear an helmet. Right? I remember we had this discussion. I had to go to Ian Chan with the thing, and Ian Chan interpreted the law and said, "You're right. You're correct. If you get them little motorcycle and so on, and little thing, a little what they call mosquito or something, they can't remember the size, the engine size, but they say it ought to be less than 50 cubic centimeter and pedal assisted." And pedal assisted. Yeah, Carlton, I didn't know you some expert. I remember, let me tell you all the incident. Me and Henry Green, who was the commissioner, go up the road for it. I was traffic chief. I think I was traffic chief, or yeah, might have been. Going into police headquarters a day to attend a meeting. And I saw a person riding out of the police headquarters with no helmet on. And of course, I turned back, tell me driver turn back, arrest him, and so on, charge. And then they're going to tell me some little boy, he had CID, and he earmarked for cadet officer. So what I got to do with it? I said, there's even more reason he must follow the law. I decided to charge him for breaching the law, and Green jump and make a whole set of nights. I said, well, here, the law and said that I can't charge a police. The law said as a general rule. So this was an exception to the rule. So I ended up charging. He left the work shortly after. It's not that I was picking on him, but I couldn't imagine that a policeman, he was in plain clothes, riding out of police headquarters without helmet, and people will stand there and not do anything. So let me understand. So even now, right, Commissioner Cole, because now you see the law, I think the law now with the e-bikes that they have, is saying they must wear a helmet. Well, I going around the place whenever I'm in Guyana, and it seems that law is no longer in effect because I see some children riding e-bikes on public roads. Children. Helmets, something of the past. Seatbelt, something of the past. Tints, everybody get the thing on tint. Another thing I see in Mr. Traffic Chief, there is no longer an offense called obscure review. So if you drive around the place, you see minibuses and private cars in particular get big advertisement on the back of the back glass covering everything. That's against the law. That's against the law. But so all of those things you have to fix. All of those things. So don't focus on, as I said, yeah, it's important, drunk driving and speeding, but you have to enforce the laws, all of these things, tint on the motor vehicle. It is the law, tint on the motor vehicle. You get people throwing sand all over the road, animals roaming the road. It's a whole gamut of things that you got to fix, you got to address. Police passing them things and then doing anything. Helmets, people are wearing helmets, people are popping wheelies right in the presence of police and all these stuff. Even some of the policemen themselves and doing the right thing. So what do you expect? What do you expect? Yeah, let me see. Do the right thing. Now let me say, oh shucks, I almost forget. When I said do the right thing, let me hold on. The right thing, the slogan is the right slogan. The slogan is the right slogan. But it shouldn't focus towards traffic alone. Should do the right thing. Minister Ben, do the right thing. You should resign. All the areas under you, police, prison, fire, we talk about 5 people killed this morning on fire, are failures. So you should do the right thing now. The acting commissioner of police, the extended squatter, should do the right thing and find the right board certificate and go. Right? Go. This is a man, I listened to a program on Sunday night, and the people, is a radio program. The people were quite correct. Said no other part in the world you would have a commissioner, acting or substantive, who sits there and tell people that he took $8.5 million from a businessman for finance one of his officers' wedding, and he would remain sitting in the office. No way that would have happened. So he should do the right thing and move on, because I continue to say that there's no way, according to the Brutus matter just now, Brutus could have perpetrated all of these financial irregularities as alleged in the court without the commissioner's involvement. Or, let me give the benefit of the doubt, if he's not involved, then he's incompetent not to have known all of this is going on below him. Hundreds of millions of dollars in procurement, money thieving from the credit, from the police consumers, money thieving from the welfare fund, and you sit as commissioner and you know all that going on. We're going to deal with that more substantively in a short while. So you should do the right thing and go home. Brutus too should be made to do the right thing and say, hey, I am going through all of this stress any longer. Well, he can the cases can withdraw now, but at least he decide to stop embarrassing the force and resign his post in the force. And many of them should do the right thing and go. Do the right thing and go. Now let me move on. Brutus, for the rest of the time. Let me deal with the first one here. Brutus and his wife withdraw another High Court action against Soku. This is on November the 10th, a couple days ago. Assistant Police Commissioner, again, I'm telling them, they're not like an assistant police commissioner. He's Assistant Commissioner of Police. And you yourself, Stabrook News and all these media houses, it does write ACP. It is abbreviated as ACP. ACP can mean Assistant Police Commissioner. A is for assistant, C is the commissioner, and P is the police. So it's supposed to be Assistant Commissioner of Police. I see some of them corrected, but some of them stubborn. All right, they say Assistant Police Commissioner Calvin Brutus and his wife, Andanika Alder, on Friday, withdrew and discontinued the High Court action filed on August the 19th against the head of the Special Organized Crime Unit, the Commissioner of Police, and the Attorney General. A release from the Attorney General's chamber stated yesterday. So this is saying the Attorney General's chamber put out a release to say that Brutus withdrew and discontinued the matter. The release explained that in these proceedings, Brutus and his wife sought a number of orders, including an order to set aside and recall the order of court earlier granted freezing their bank accounts. The application to withdraw, and discontinue the proceedings was made orally when the matter was called on Friday by the attorney appearing for Brutus and his wife. They didn't say the attorney name. This is the second set of proceedings filed and later withdrawn by Brutus and his wife. According to the release, another High Court proceedings, which was filed seeking permission for these two persons to leave the jurisdiction, allegedly for medical attention for Orla, was heard by Justice Gino Prasad, who, after hearing arguments from lawyers appearing for the Attorney General's chamber, dismissed the application and ordered the applicant to pay $250,000 each to the respondents, namely the Attorney General, the Commissioner of Police, and SOCU, with 6 weeks from the date of order. It goes on to say the date to date, these costs have not been paid, with the release noting that upon the expiration of the 6 weeks, should these costs remain unpaid, the requisite legal steps will be taken to recover same. So Brutus last week, this continue on. You know, it's a lot of things he filed, you know. Let me recap or remind you all. He filed a constitutional motion against the Attorney General, the Minister of Home Affairs, the Police Service Commission, the Commissioner of Police Acting, the Special Organized Crime Unit, and then that was withdrawn. Then he had his lawyer write to the DPP, a letter to the DPP about the investigation by SOCU being improperly done. They wrote that. And then he had this application to leave the country where they just denied, Justice Gino Prasad denied him permission. So they might filing application after application after application. But let me say this before I bring in Mr. Conway, because the last part of this thing says, today the cost, and let me read about the whole thing. He said that he was ordered, the applicant, to pay $250,000 each to the respondents, namely the Attorney General, the Commissioner of Police, and SOCU. Let me read about English language. He said that the judge dismissed the application and ordered the applicants to pay $250,000 each to the respondents, namely the Attorney General, Commissioner of Police, and SOCU within 6 weeks. My interpretation there is that the order says that you got to pay the Attorney General $200,000, the Commissioner of Police $200,000, and SOCU $200,000. Got to say each $250,000 each. And then the Attorney General goes on to say that these costs have not been paid. If the costs have not been paid, in the noting that upon the expiration of the 6 weeks, should these costs remain unpaid, the requisite legal steps will be taken to recover same. Now I'm glad the Attorney General know that, you know, because early this year, can't remember, I think it was March or sometime this year, the same Justice Gino Prasad, in dealing with in disposing of the action against the Attorney General and others for the unlawful suspension of the Police Service Commission, which I was the chair, he awarded me cost in the sum of $500,000. And Mr. AG, I ain't get the money yet. Attorney General, sir, I ain't get the money yet. And I've been making efforts to get the money. And the time frame, because the judge had given a time frame, it long gone. So maybe now that you're into making sure that costs are paid, you will seek to make sure that, please make sure that the pay slow is $500,000. I need it. I ain't get all them 100 millions and them enough bank account. I need the money. And I'm going to make sure that I pursue. Maybe I will take your advice, and if the cost is not paid within the next time, I can take the requisite legal steps have to be taken to recover the $500,000. Mr. Conway, let me bring you in for some of this batting, man. Brutus withdraw next case.
I want to believe Brutus, I mean, I want no brief for him, you know, but I want to believe he realized maybe that he clutching on straws, you know, that he ain't okay. So don't waste the coach time. So I don't know, waste too much of time with Brutus and his withdrawing, you know. But if you got to pay costs, you got to pay costs. And if people got to levy money, they should go ahead and levy on him.
Yeah, so it's interesting that there's a lot of matter this man file and withdraw, a lot of matter. I'm going to deal with that in a short while. The next thing with Brutus again, we were told that when he appeared in court on the 24th of October, we were led to believe that the court ordered he has to report to Soku, right? The magistrate court, you got to report on a particular date. Let me read what it says. Assistant Commissioner Brutus, his wife, they said out they have granted bail by the Georgia Magistrate Court some 2 weeks ago have reportedly failed to adhere to the conditions of their release. On October the 24th, the trio appeared before acting chief magistrate, and had several charges related to fraud and money laundering read to them. The group who are facing charges related to money laundering and fraud were not allowed to plead to the indictments, but Brutus was placed on bail in the sum of $6.2 million. His wife, $1 million, and George, his driver, 500,000 bail under the condition that they report on the second Friday of each month to Superintendent Madhyo Singh or Deputy Superintendent Frank RV between 1 o'clock and 4:30 hours at the Special Organized Crime Unit. Well, according to what they're saying, the reporting time passed and they have not reported. They have not reported. The second Friday for November passed. That would have been at the 8th. They did not report. And the question is, what action now is to be taken against Brutus, his wife, and his driver, who failed to comply to the condition of the bail? What action should be taken against them? Let me bring in Mr. Conway, then I'm going to take with peace, man. CC, what action should be taken against these people who, having been put on bail with strict conditions, they have already violated the conditions? I note that the lawyer representing Brutus dance and dance and dance. But if the court said the second Friday of each month, I don't see this. They appeared on the 24th of October. And the court said you must report to Soku between a particular time on the second Friday of each month. Where is the controversy, my brother?
Well, as you said, the liar dancing, perhaps Soko playing, and he walls to Soko. The thing is that it is clear the second Friday of every month, crystal clear, pellucid. So I don't know what the lie said. The second Friday in each month, and I feel the prosecutor, when the case comes up again, should move that the bail should be executed, or some form of action taken. You can be flouting the court order. The court order is clear. The second Friday in each month, you gotta report to X two persons, and you haven't done so. This is total blatant disregard for the court order, and serious court action should be taken.
Well, yes, I say so. But let me tell you, what the crystal ball says. Based on let me applaud the liar for trying for dance out of this thing. The liar trying some what I would call legal gymnastics to get out of it. But to me, it's a straightforward thing. And what is likely to happen, because people have been asking me, Brutus is due to return to court on the 18th of this month, the 18th. And it is felt that when he returns them, the issue of him not adhering to the conditions of the bail will come up. And the lawyers and them going to dance, and they're going to say, well, it's a misinterpretation. They're going to say they didn't understand the thing properly, and they're going to mea culpa, my apologies, and so on. And the magistrate most likely will then make it clear what those conditions are, the bail conditions are, and Brutus going to get a slap in the roof, a slap on his wrist, a stern warning, go and sin no more. I believe that's what's going to happen. But as Mr. Connie rightly pointed out, an ordinary person, once he didn't report, they would arrest him long time. They would have arrested that person, and the question of the bail being escheated would have been considered. In other words, the bail would have been forfeited. And because, let me tell you, and this is one of the reasons we say to you, we teach, one of the reasons too, that you cannot bail yourself. The person who bailed Brutus has a legal responsibility to ensure that he adheres to the condition of the bail, because if the bail is cheated, is the person who bail money going down the road. So whoever is the person that bail Brutus has a responsibility to make sure that he adheres to the condition of the bail. So let's see what will happen on the 18th when he appears. Again, I have to ask the question, what happened to the other 210 charges? Soku said that they were investigating 240 charges against Brutus. From public information, Brutus appeared on the 24th of October and answered to 30 of those charges. What happened to the next 210? What happened? I know since then, the dancing, he withdrawing, charges that he do not answer. What happened to the next 210? Question. Because as I said on the last occasion, his appearance on the 18th has to be in respect of the charges that were already read to him. Can't be nothing that is not before the court. When the magistrate put off the case, the magistrate has put off a case that is before the court. That is the 30 charges that were read to him and on which he was put on bail. So if the 210 and file and the magistrate, dealing with that yet. So what has taken them so long to take him to deal with the other charges? These are questions that have to be asked. And the media friends out there, I know not people listen, please ask these questions. Why since the 24th of October? Because remember, they told us that this file was sent to the DPP, and the DPP has given instructions or given recommendations as to charges to be filed. They went ahead with 30. What the DPP did not recommend that other charges be filed too. What is holding up the process? And you see, these things bring people start to speculate, and people started to say all kind of things. Because one would have expected that by now, the other charges would have been read to him. We made the point on this program that it's not easy for 240 charges to be dealt with one day. Can't work, right? Even if the magistrate dedicate the entire day to reading the charges. You got to read the charge. Each charge has to be read. And it wasn't he alone and others. It was the charges are indictable, so you don't have to plead. But you have to talk about bail on each of the charges. It takes time. It takes a lot of time. So let me see what is going on. Before I move on, I have a late birthday came in. Woman Inspector Huntley, celebrating her birthday today. I know she used to be at the mess when Brutus used to say and all other thing at the mess there. That's a story for next time. But happy birthday to you, my dear. Hope you continue to enjoy long life. I know you were stressed out with all the irregularities, that you stood up as a person with integrity and said this thing can happen. And then you were victimized and so on. But hang in there. Happy birthday to you. The next thing I want to encourage you people to continue to share. We have encouraging numbers this morning, notwithstanding the fact that it's a Tuesday, but you got to continue to share. And then give me a thumbs up to now. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. Salima, I'll get all of those things to talk about, but I never got it today. Salima wants up and can't hear about the helicopter crash. So many other things we can't hear about. But let's we're gonna talk about it. I have it listed to speak about if time permits. But I gotta go to the main issue today, man. I want time around to us today. I deal with it. I received a letter from Mr. Earl Daniels, attorney at law. He writes on behalf of Mr. Calvin Brutus, Assistant Commissioner of Police and attorney at law. In other words, it's a letter where they are threatening to take legal action against me because he said that I defamed him, I made libelous statements against him, and so on. Let me give you a synopsis of what? There are about 6 things. And then we're going to talk about it. I will talk about it. He said on October the 18th, he said, I made a statement to the effect that there was total mismanagement of taxpayers' money in chartering a flight. Then I asked who authorized the flying visit. Strange things are happening in the country, strange things. Like the statement I made, they say on this program on the 18th of October. I remember that date well, 18th of October, because that was the anniversary of my mother's death. And I think we were talking here about a report that people, senior officers, charter plane for go and visit Essequibo, Borbies, East Borbies. They chartered a plane. And I asked the question, well, in my view, there was mismanagement of taxpayers' money, chartering a flight to go and visit station and the quarantine. And I asked the question, who authorized that? And I said, strange things are happening. Well, he said that is defamatory to him and so on. I'm sure Mr. Conway will remember. So, CC, let me bring you in to make your comment about this statement on the 18th of October, where I said that they're alleging, I ain't doubting them, it's a total mismanagement of taxpayers' money in chartering a flight. And I asked, who authorized the flying visit? Strange things are happening in the country, strange things. Do you remember that comment we made?
I remember, and I remember, you know, the records would show that went to Springlands, charter flight to Springlands, check out something there. Then they went to Kanji, then went to 51 police station and did some inspection of some projects there. And the thing is that even the president, when he goes to Borbis, you know, he travels by road. He travels by road, and then some senior government officials go on the road. But here is it. It's alleged, no one is alleged. Here it is that they go into Springlands and checking out projects, going to 51, touchdown at Kanji airstrip. And when the economical thing that should have been done, you travel by road. Why aircraft? Why charter aircraft? I don't know who paid for the charter, but it did happen. It did happen.
Yes, it did happen. So that is the one. That is the first one on the 18th of October. Then on March the 6th this year, he said, I said, let's continue to be safe. We will continue to talk about the unlawful actions, the illegal actions, the criminal actions of the people who are laundering money in the force. People who now have sand mining concessions. Imagine that two senior men in the force have mining concession, and all of those things are allowed. The authorities cannot see that those things are affecting the efficiency of the organization. People have dual or multiple interests, so they can't dedicate their time and energies to the upliftment and betterment of the Guyana Police Force. I am saying that perhaps it is not a side hustle, it is the main hustle. Perhaps the side hustle is the police work. Being brutally frank, sometime for them, the side hustle is the police work, and the sand mining and who's supplying things to the force, who get hotel and all that is the main hustle. And the police is just being used to cover what is going on. That's the next statement. No name and mention, but he said that was defamatory and libelous to him. That is Brutus, can't to what a liar. And I should have mentioned at the beginning that this letter is dated October the 16th, 2024. I don't know if all the circumstances or all the incidents which followed thereafter renders this a nullity. I don't know. But I want to say to you before I go on that on receipt of the letter, I forward it to my lawyers who are preparing the response. Because my inclination was to give the shortest response ever. But then, you know, I said, let good sense prevail. Let me talk to the lawyers. Because my lawyer, my response would have been the shortest, 2 words. The first one, the first letter in the first word was F. And the second word was U. The word U, you know, not the letter U, the word. So it would have been F followed by some letters, and the last word would have been YOU. That would have been my response. But the lawyer said they're going to respond. They are going to respond. When I see the thing, I laugh. I said there's got to be All Fools Day joke, even though now it's November. I said that there was the auditioning for No Big Thing. And I'm going to read some more because the man said, let me read this part and then I'm going to come back. I said that the statements are libelous. All the statements I will read to you, Brutus is saying, choose liar, that they are libelous and clearly impute that my client, that is Brutus, has engaged in illicit activities and is only unfit to hold public office. Consequently, my client's reputation has been severely damaged and he has been subjected to public odium, ridicule, and embarrassment. Oh, Lado, can you imagine that? Can you imagine Brutus liar is writing to me to say that the statements that I have made are libelous and clearly impute that Brutus has engaged in illicit activities and is wholly unfit to hold public office. Consequently, Brutus' reputation has been severely damaged and he has been subjected to public odium, ridicule, and yeah, forgive me. I find this thing so funny. I find this thing so funny. Now let me read back sentence number 2, where you say we talk about I talk about sandpit. I said so that if you are engaged in all these type of activities, then the police work may be taking second place, and the main also got to be your private activities. And the mini police work, I'm saying that my belief, given that all that is taking place, that the police work is the side hustle. Side hustle. And then now he said on June the 19th, 2024, I said, you got information out there that a senior police officer attempted to launder $16.5 million through the police credit union. They now investigate that. Ropesman in 2021 in Parliament announced that $300 million was missing from the police finance office. What happened to that? Sometime last year, they claimed that there is a $300 million fraud at the police quartermaster stores. What happened to that? Because I maintain, according to the system, the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Home Affairs is the accounting officer. In the police system, the man at admin is the man directly responsible for finance to the finance office and the quartermaster store. And if you have all those irregularities, they must be held accountable. They are either complicit or they themselves are involved in the whole thing. But you won't hear anything, hear no investigation. So if Jagdio then want to talk about the investigation, then maybe they can start there. A police officer laundering through the police credit union. The evidence is there. That is what is the claim that I said, and that is libelous to him. Let me bring Mr. Conway, then I can move on, man. See, those statements they say are defamatory and libelous. What say you?
Well, after those events, those statements, which are factual, other things flow, charges flow. And not only that, and then they say what 240 charges. So what you were saying, or what you said it wasn't that because events took place after them, court proceedings took place after them, and then we hear about 240 charges, So there is an attempt, a horrible attempt to shut you up.
By now they have to know they can't shut me up for talking the truth. By now they have to know that they can't be that stupid, man, to know that, hey, Slow and Conway will continue to come here and to speak the truth. The next thing, he said on June the 20th, I said the evidence is there. $16.5 million in 2 black plastic bags, what the Jamaican call scandal bag. Cash Guyana currency attempted to deposit at the police credit union. Clear money laundering. What is the source of the 16.5 million? Does it belong to the police officer, or is he putting it there on behalf of somebody? Maybe he's trying to clean up through the credit union because he knows that if he attempts to deposit it in any commercial bank, questions are going to be asked about the source of income. Again, the question is asked where a senior police officer would get money to buy property in Alberton, right at the corner of Albert and Fifth Street. These people are not interested in managing the force and policing. They are interested in being businessmen. A senior police officer acquiring prime property in Georgetown. Obviously, in some business he intends to put up there. And when a little constable in a little also selling something is against the regulations because it is still against in the regulations. But as we have said, we're talking about different folks, different strokes. Animal farm. That is one of the statements too, where we said that a senior police officer, no name was mentioned, senior police officer, asked where he would get money from to buy a property in Alberton, right at the corner of Albert and Fifth Street. But let me say this. The purchase of that property, if the subject to a money laundering charge, look, I'm going to deal with it. The subject of the purchase of that property at Albert and Fifth Street, which was was Frenzy's Bar. Soku is alleging, it matters, he's charged with that he bought the property there, and they say he bought it with proceeds from criminal activities. So that is he charged of money laundering. And tell me that is defamatory to him? That is what Soku, that is what he charged. I can read the particulars to you in a short while. And then he goes on to say on July the 12th, I said, let me give it from the beginning. Let me try to get some sequence so that you can follow what is going on. For the longest while, we have been saying on this program that an allegation is made that a senior police officer attempted to launder 16.5 million through the police credit union. We said that the 16.5 cash Guyana currency was sent to be deposited in the credit union account, and people there recognizing that something was amiss, I think they returned the money. And after that, I think all hell broke loose because those that were in charge were transferred. They were moved out of and placed in all kinds of things happened. Up to now, they are being victimized and they are being bullied. We called for an investigation on Speaking Out. We said that such damning allegation against a senior officer, the man in charge of admin, who is in fact the second in command of the force, such allegation requires a credible investigation. We said that. So that is one of the things too that is defamatory. Then we said on the 16th of June, he said on the 17th, of July, again, for the longest while, we have been saying on this program that an allegation is made that the senior police officer attempted to launder 16.5 million through the police credit union. The people there recognizing that something was amiss returned the money. For the longest while, we called for an investigation into this on Speaking Out. We said that such a damning allegation by a senior officer ought to be investigated. It requires a credible investigation. These statements are, that is the last one I said. Then I'm going to read what the lawyer says. Let me read before I bring in Mr. Conway. Let me read the last part of what the lawyer says. The lawyer says all of those things that I've said above there. He said these statements are unequivocally false and have been made without any legal justification or authority. They are libelous and clearly impute that my client has engaged in illicit activities and is wholly unfit to hold public office. Consequently, my client's reputation has been severely damaged and he has been subjected to public odium, ridicule, and embarrassment. In this circumstance, I am instructed to demand that you issue an apology, retract the publication, and immediately cease and desist from repeating the same or similar statements in this regard. I am instructed to institute legal proceedings against you without any further notice if you fail to accede within 1 day of receipt of this correspondence. Signed, Earl F. Daniels, attorney at law. Wonder what the F is for. Well, let me tell, as I said, the matter is in the hands of my lawyers. They are going to respond. But Mr. Daniels, on behalf of Brutus, is demanding that I respond within 1 day or they're going to institute legal action against me. Go lang! Legal action for what? And again, I say, in fairness to Brutus and Mr. Daniels. This letter is dated the 16th of October. Brutus appeared in court to answer 30 charges on the 24th of October. So I don't know if the subsequent events, his appearance in court, would what impact it will have on this statement. Well, we're going to go ahead and we're going to respond. We are going to respond, right? We're going to respond to Brutus through his lawyer, Mr. Earl F. Daniels, right? Well, I know Danny. Danny, I'm surprised at you, you know. I know Danny. I know Danny very well. Ex-major in the Army. He worked for some time at the Georgetown Club. I know Danny. Danny, I know you. I mean, your client instructs you to do certain things, you're doing it. Regardless of how unprofessional it might appear, you're doing what your client says you must do. Perhaps I understand that as a lawyer, you're getting paid to do a job, you're doing the job. But we're going to see what's going on there. We're going to see what is going to happen there. But let me bring in Mr. Conway, and then I'm going to tell you something more about this whole issue. See, let me hear you on this letter that I read there a while ago.
Let me repeat, what you said. Many of those things have manifested themselves in court cases, manifested themselves in investigation being done by Suku, and also manifested themselves in recommendations or recommendation for charges to be instituted. So let's wait and see. Remember, they said 240 charges that the DPP advised. So maybe most of those things are going to come out very, very clearly.
Well, let me say this. May I give an advice, really, but I'm not making a statement. Brutus coming after me to say that I defaming him and I'm making libelous statement. Not the first time he did it. He did it back in 2021, right? Sued me in 2021. The matter was dismissed by the magistrate, and I think he appealed, not the magistrate, by the judge, and he has appealed that. I understand that appeal is still pending, right? So it's not the first time. But let me say this. Brutus and his lawyers the time will be best served in trying to make sure that they get a defense for the 30 criminal charges that he's facing. 30 with another 210 to come. Countryman said when you jump on me, you jump him on gum. You know what's happening when you jump on gum? You just get stick up. Y'all tongue people might know these terms, but I go up in the country. When you say a man jump on gum, or you barking up the wrong tree, or you go into the right church where you sit down in the wrong pew, all of those things are parables or statements that are apt. Brutus telling me that I defaming him for making them statements, and he end up getting charged. Not me defaming you if any defamation. It's Soku. Soku say you thief credit union money. Let me remind you. He is charged lastly by public officer. It's not Paul Slow charge you. We ain't no statement in this matter. You are charged. The person, the deponent is Mayadio Singh from Soku. They say that you by public lastly by public officer contrary to section 185 of the Criminal Law Offences Act, and the particular state that Calvin Brutus between Tuesday the 28th of November 2023 and Wednesday the 29th of November 2023 at the Guyana Police Force Headquarters, Evelary, Kingston, Georgetown, in the Georgetown Ministerial District in the County of Demerara, in the state of Guyana, being a public officer employed by the Guyana Police Force, stole the sum of $60 million Guyana currency belonging to Guyana Police Force Consumers Cooperative Society Limited. It's them saying lastly, you stole. And here, let me tell you all, breaking it down. When they talk about last is a fancy word for thieving. They're accusing you of thieving $60 million from the credit union, from the Police Consumers Co-op Society. Again, they also accuse you of stealing another set of money from the same place. I think it's $20 million. Let me see if I can find the statement, man. I got to read these things. I got to read the statements. They said larceny, but as I told you people when you hear larceny is a fancy word for thieving. The accusation is that Brutus thief not stole, level planted grammar, that Brutus thief $60 million from the, on one occasion, from the Police Consumers Cooperative Society. Then they say, hey, now again, hold on, man, I got the next one, the next thieving one. You got so many, the misconduct in public office, money laundering, and all them, but I'm looking for the thieving one. I'm looking for the one that accuses him of thieving. And let me say again, as we have said before, Brutus is assumed, he's presumed to be innocent. I gotta give him that. That's how the system works. He's presumed to be innocent until proven guilty. Well, Mr. Brutus is not Slow or Conway. Soku said that you thief money from the Police Consumers Co-op Society. They say that you're involved in money laundering. They say that you misconducted yourself in public office. They say some other charge, a fancy charge, they give you there. So if you want to say your reputation is being tarnished and libelous statements are being made against you, perhaps you should focus on the people at Soku. Because them is the one who charge you. Yeah, Floyd, Bengal Tiger. That's what the people accusing, and then Brutus coming after me to say that I defame me and all that other thing. Defamation of character. What character? What character? A senior police officer who's accused of thieving money, the mere fact that a senior police officer can be accused of all of these crimes means that he has no character, absolutely no character. So what am I defaming? The fancy word, I have brought him into I have brought him into, let me read it back. His reputation, consequently, his reputation has been severely damaged. When you accuse a thieving, so maybe, and again I say you're innocent until proven guilty. So any reputational damage got to be associated with the fact that they say you thief. Cat jump your hand. That's what they're saying. Cat jump your hand. Puss jump your hand. Bengal tiger jump your hand. Bengal tiger jump your hand. But let me bring in Mr. Conway, and I want to move in to go to another part that is a very important part of this aspect of this thing. See, I read all what it said here, and he's accused by Soku of thieving money, of laundering money, of misconduct in public office, and he decided he can focus on me. What do you have to say, my brother?
Well, we're saying that he's innocent until proven guilty, but the allegations are there, and the matters are before the court. Matters that went to the DPP, and the DPP advised charges. Soku did the investigation, and matters are before the court. The same thing that you said. He's accused of thieving. That's what they accuse. He's accused of thieving. Never mind, it's a simple larceny. And the definition for larceny: a person steals who fraudulently and without a claim of right made in good faith takes and carries away anything capable of being stolen with the attempt at the time of taking, permanently to deprive the owner thereof. And they're talking about money, chattel, and valuable security.
Money, chattel, valuable security. Again, let me go back for the police, the young police. Person steals, who without claim of right made in good faith. So who is accusing Brutus of taking the $60 million? He had no claim of right made in good faith. And they say, then the next thing say he takes and carries away. So he take it and he carries away. Anything capable of being stolen. So the $60 million is something capable of being stolen, with the intent at such time of taking, permanently to deprive the owner thereof. So they're saying that when he take the money, he take the money to permanently deprive the Police Consumers Society the $60 million. That is what the accusation is. And again, I got to remind you all, Brutus didn't pick himself up from Barbies in 2020 and install himself at admin. They brought him there. The the president was sworn in on the 2nd of August 2020, and they brought Brutus to admin on the 16th of August 2020, 2 weeks after. And I sat there and checked the record. Never before as such a junior post, he was a senior superintendent then, all that very senior and important position of the force. They brought him there. They brought him there. And then the Chief Justice, in a ruling on the 28th of June 2021, she said, let me read. She said, Senior Superintendent Calvin Brutus' letters on December the 24th, 2020, to various senior officers was strange, self-serving, vague, unsubstantiated, and represents a conflict of interest. Let me read the back what the Chief Justice said on the 28th day of June. Because, he challenged the Police Service Commission I was chaired for not promoting him. He was joined by Stanley. He was joined by the Jupiter. He was joined by Prem, and he was joined by the commander in Region 6 now. They joined him. And when the Chief Justice delivered the decision on the 28th of June, among the things that she said that Senior Superintendent Calvin Brutus' letters on December the 24th, 2020, to various senior officers was strange, self-serving, vague, unsubstantiated, and represents a conflict of interest. That is when Ben, he could sue too, because I get the evidence. On the 24th of December 2020, following the meeting of the Police Service Commission the day before, on the 23rd of December 2020, and in that conversation I had with the president on the night of the 23rd of December 2020, Robesman then communicated to Nigel Appy, who was carrying out the functions of the commissioner, that he wants several officers charged criminally with various offenses. And as a result of that, Brutus then wrote to these officers. The Chief Justice in one of the statements said, it is strange that Brutus was writing to his rivals, because some of the other officers that he wrote to were people who were in contention for the same position, assistant commissioner. So that is what it was said. They brought him there. They encouraged him to take the Police Service Commission to court. They encouraged him to take the Service Commission to court. So they created the monster. They created the monster. Now let me say this. I understand up to now this man is interdicted, So a man who appeared in court since the 24th of October, he has not been interdicted from duty and placed on pay as yet. And I recall Justice Ramlal, the Police Complaints Authority, making a statement in his report to the President and to Parliament that persons in the force are charged criminally and they are not interdicted. They are kept on the job. We had a case of Roop, and we had the one at Borbies. Now, in Brutus' case, the Service Commission has interdicted. Simple process. Can't take more than a day or two. Simple process. We understand up to now, he has not been interdicted. And the implications there are I need to point out, because the fact that he's not interdicted, it means that he's getting all the pay and all the, even though he is on administrative leave, all the pay and allowances he's getting. Whereas, if you're interdicted, you get half pay, and the only allowance you can get is the house allowance. So the man is kept there. Well, he lives in police quarters, so he should not be getting out allowance in the first instance. But as we say, strange things happening these days. Strange things. Man is not interdicted. But let me say this. All these matters, the charges, the criminal allegations, the lawsuits against the government, all the statements about cabinet involvement, about the Ministry of Home Affairs, the Permanent Secretary of Affairs, the Police Service Commission, all of these statements to me point to a man who is losing it or who has lost it. I believe this is a man who is under tremendous stress. File a lawsuit, withdraw lawsuit. File a lawsuit again, withdraw lawsuit. Made an application to leave the country with his wife, denied by the court. A man under tremendous stress. Soku, that's Soku and SWAT unit gone to the man resident on the 23rd of October. Then carry out the search warrant. They went arrest him. That man is under tremendous stress. I am no doctor, I am no psychiatrist or anything like that. But I'm telling you, I'm warning the command of the police force that if that man is in possession of a firearm, he can be a danger to himself, he can be a danger to his family, he can be a danger to his neighbors. Because I understand that some of the senior officers are his neighbors in the police officers' quarters. A warning at you. A warning at you. You got a man who seems to be unhinged, running around the place, filing lawsuit, withdrawing lawsuit. A warning, y'all, you know. A warning, it is dangerous to allow the man to keep and carry a firearm. I don't know if he has. I know most senior police officers would carry a firearm. And let me advise y'all, if it is a police firearm that he has, if he has, straightforward, take it away from him. I know young a while ago, you're frightened. That might be a good opportunity for you to use SWAT team, for the SWAT team to go there and disarm that officer and take the firearm away. If it is that he has a private firearm, same thing, take it away and initiate proceedings to have it revoked. Again, I said, inter beniba, make quashiba take notice. That man, from all his lawsuit filing and all his actions and so on, seems to be under tremendous, tremendous stress. And I don't know that y'all want to have a man under the type of stress. Blaming people, he blaming the man in charge of admin there now. He blaming the man in charge of Soku for the predicament he's in. He blaming them in document that he has written, blaming them. And therefore, if y'all want to continue, y'all not gotta listen to Slow, you know. Don't listen to Slow. But I'm saying to you guys, it is dangerous for you to allow Assistant Commissioner Calvin Brutus to continue to have a firearm, whether it's a private firearm or whether it's a police firearm. It is dangerous, right? It is dangerous based on all the things that is going on. If y'all don't want to listen to me, it's up to y'all. Let me bring Mr. Conway to office, stay in this part of it, and then we're gonna we gotta move to a wrap. But see, a man displaying all of these tendencies, erratic tendencies, get a firearm, and blaming people who live near to you as being part of this what you call it, downfall or whatever it is. Your views, my brother.
You're so correct, you know, and I think you did a lot of protective security, you know. A lot of protective security you did, you know, and you're quite in order. That man has got to be going through a lot of emotional things. Put mother before the court, withdraw mother, Suku community, SWAT, and all those things could be biling up. I'm no psychologist, neither no psychiatric, I don't know a psychiatric training, but you are quite in order, and I agree with you that if they take away firearm, they should have taken it away by now. And if it's police firearm, well then they should take it back. And if it's this private thing, seize it and go through the process of having the license be revoked. You're quite it's a dangerous situation. And if they living next to me, like Karambash and the other assistant commissioner, I would have been very, very scared about what is likely to happen. I hear you say you look into the crystal ball, but it look as though it's coming right out of the crystal ball. But let me close out with this one, you know. New Amsterdam Town Day. It was held on Saturday gone after it was postponed because banks couldn't supply the amount of beers and other drinks that the people were likely to consume. Well, I checked it out and I saw a whole set of Amerindian police. They're from the college in Borbis on training. A whole set of them, they were there. They brought them out there to do policing. I think over 90% of them were Amerindians there. They were well torn out, look smart, look slick. But I observed that the belt they were wearing was those canvas belts, those belts that the TSU would normally wear, not the belt that the normal general duty wear. And then also, amazingly, they all had what they call shine shoes, the officer type of shoes, not the shoes that the normal police would wear. And I did ask some questions, several of them. How come you wearing shine shoe? Where you get this shine shoe, this officer shoe from? And you know what I said? Amazing, they say that they had to buy the shoe from a couple. They call a couple name. He will remain anonymous and his location will not be disclosed right now. But they say they bought it from a couple and they had to pay $7,000. So there's it. Exploitation of the Amerindian police, that they got to pay for the shoe. They had to pay $7,000 for the shoe from a couple, and they all had this shine shoe, not the normal shoe. Another case of corruption, another case of financial irregularity. And then added to that, I mean, time is going, the commander of Region 6, like senior people in the regional system, boycotted the event. I repeat, boycotted the event. He left Michael Newland, assistant superintendent, and Newland did an excellent job in terms of posting people and supervising the thing there. But the commander boycotted the Tongue Day celebration, like people, senior members of the region. Unlike what he did when they had the Borbis Expo by the Central Quarantine Chamber of Commerce. He was there all the nights, operating a drone, was there all the time. And then the ranks who worked the 4 nights only received 3 days pay, extra duty. They said 1 day got to go to the government, and so far the government ain't get none 1 day, and all the money done finish already. Another case of corruption. Saying people, or there must be an audit on the financial runnings of Borbis. A lot of corruption going on there. A lot of irregularity, financial irregularity. Here is it. People work 4 days and they only pay them for 3 days, and they say a day got to go to the government. I close off here.
Yeah, my brother. Yeah. Let me say this. Let me say this. Again, we're saying, despite what and we'll talk about it more tomorrow. I mean, government and the vice president and all them talking about this investigation and giving the impression that a proper investigation is done. I said no. Notwithstanding the fact that Brutus has been charged, 30 charges, they said 210 pending. This investigation, a proper investigation, credible investigation, got to rope in a lot more people. I said before, how can Brutus be involved or engaged in this elaborate criminal scheme without the involvement of others, including the man who sits there as the acting commissioner? If he ain't involved criminally, he negligent. You tell me Brutus took $60 million from the police consumers. That's what been alleged. Another $20 million from the police consumers. Another allegation. Two checks of 13 point something million dollars from the police central welfare fund. And you want to tell me that the commissioner of police sits there, the finance officer sits there, and all these other people sit there and they don't know, they're not complicit or negligent in this? I don't care. Let us sue me what they want to sue me. I am saying, and the vice president said the system worked. The system did not work. The system did not work. The allegations that Brutus instructed the poor special inspector and the police consumers to draw a check in our name. That is what the allegation said. And she must encash it and hand the check over to E. Brutus. You want to tell me red flags in there some way? Who are the signatories to this account? And then Jack Dale saying, the system work? How system work? 500 and something million dollars in the account. And then they belatedly reported it. And people will tell you, ordinary people will tell you got to deposit a little $20,000 somebody sent for you, or you say you're going to save. It's all sort of documents and all sort of questions. You got to work with your board certificate, your marriage certificate. They want to know perhaps when you're going to get a death certificate, all of those things that you have to take. And this man and his wife, 9 bank accounts, and must have been the most profitable business. You want to tell me the people I'm picking this up? Business registered last year in the wife's name, $300 and something million. Are you telling me, you're telling me how the system work? What system work? I'm going to deal with it more extensively tomorrow, because we're big, but we aren't stupid. We are big, but we are not stupid. And then in closing, I want to ask this question again. They told us a few weeks ago that some policemen, I think 2 of them, were to be charged for the abduction and robbery of this man from Gifflands Mall. Well, they said they robbed this man $9.5 million. Took him to his residence, took the money, and then the next day they went back in police car. About 3 weeks ago, a statement was made that these ranks are to be charged. Up to now, you hear nothing, Up to now, you hear nothing about this thing. And perhaps the 2 most egregious ones to me, I'll deal with that in more depth tomorrow. The killing of Police Sergeant Alex Vaughn in March of this year, shot by what they say is friendly fire. That's March. This is November. Nothing. Even before then, the GDF helicopter crash. 5 persons died. Very little information. They come and say the black box damage. A black box that is designed to be indestructible damage. We're going to ask the questions. You have many more questions to ask, but time does not permit me to ask them today. But folks, let me say this. I appreciate the interest you have shown in this program. We don't take you for granted. That is why we come and we bring the facts. We do the research and we bring the facts to you. I am so pleased over the past couple of days by the number of persons, especially last night, yesterday, and this morning, when there was a technical issue. People calling from all over, what happened to the program? People calling from the States, people calling from Guyana. What happened to the program? Right? Valuable, credible information. That is what we are going to bring to you. Credible, valuable information. We're not going to take you for granted. We're not going to take you for granted. And I say to you too, one moment, we say to you, people have been indicating their desire to support the program, and you have the information at the bottom there. If you want to make a contribution, you have the Zelle number, you have the Cash App number to support the program. I want to thank all those who have been making contributions over the past couple of weeks since we started to ask. And we are extremely grateful for your generosity. We will continue to come and to bring you the information. Today is Tuesday, not the usual day for the program, but Wednesday is a normal day, usual program day. So God's willing, tomorrow we're going to come and we are going to bring you more credible, valuable information. Tomorrow, Wednesday the 13th, Wednesday the 13th. Tomorrow, we're going to come and we're going to bring you the credible, value information. Until then, as we would always tell you, stay well, be safe. Road accidents, American road accidents, road incidents, we're going to continue to talk about these things. We're going to continue to talk about it. Stay safe. Fire to this morning, 5 persons died. Stay safe, and God's willing, we'll see you again tomorrow, same time, same place. And bye for now.